Have you ever talked to anybody metaphorically down from the ledge, where they're thinking of giving up and you've just given them the same piece of information that you've given us?
I don't know if I certainly didn't know it at the time. There was one woman that, long time after it happened, thanked me privately for, spending some time and talking with her and kind of talking her down. I mean, she just had it. I remember the long conversation we had on the telephone about, why this business sucked, and there was no opportunity for advancement for her, and nothing was working, and she just felt like she was on a hamster wheel going nowhere. And I said, that may be true, and it may not be true. You may never go anywhere, but you're not going to find out unless you stay and try, because it could happen tomorrow. It could happen tomorrow. That's what happened to me. I mean, I was just kind of a workaday co-star, occasional guest star guy until I was brought in to audition for an HBO show on a Saturday. Oh, Saturday? That's very inconvenient for me. I really don't want to go in and audition on a Saturday because I play softball on Saturdays, and maybe they'll do it a different day. Agent, can you get me in a different day? No, they're just doing it on Saturdays. All right, all right. And I went in, and there were 50 other guys there, and they all looked like me. And I thought, oh, geez, this is ridiculous. But I did my job in the room, and then I came back, and I came back again, and the herd thinned and thinned and thinned and thinned, and finally, make a long story short, I was cast as Ed Halligan in Funny or Die Presents, and Liz Paulson brought me in for that role. And that show, produced by Will Ferrell, which was sort of the TV version of the Funny or Die website, changed everything for me. It put me on radars that I previously had not been on, and opened a lot of doors for me and created opportunities that I never would have had Liz not brought me in for that role, and I will forever be grateful to her for that. Yeah. And just to finish the thought, if you don't stay and wait for that opportunity, you won't know. So yeah, that woman and I had a very long conversation that night, but I was just trying to give her a pep talk. But it turned out that it was important to her, and she stayed, and she's still here and working.
So when did you realize how much of a choice it was staying here, in terms of like, hey, it may not work out, but it may, but this is the choice that I've made, and I'm going to stick with it even if it doesn't work out, and know that I spent many years.
Well, there's another ingredient of that, which is much more ethereal and not ethereal, but it's harder to really get a grasp on, I think, and that is a sense of self-awareness. You have to also know when it's time to hang it up. I don't know how you quantify that. I don't know how you measure that. Maybe for me, it's just been, I've been too dumb to think that this isn't an option for me. That's not what I meant. Maybe it's that I've always felt that I have some innate talent in this area. Not as talented as other people, but I do have my own set of skills that I bring to the table, and I think they're worth something, and I'm going to stick around, and somebody's going to appreciate them one day, and that's turned out to be true. But for some folks, that's not true, and they'll probably never be they'll never achieve the kind of success that they think that they should be achieving in this business. And maybe it is time to hang it up at some point. But how do you tell when that time is? I don't know. I don't know.
Do you ever do the test of, well, if I'd rather be selling annuities, I'd be doing it, or if I'd rather, if there was something else that really called to me, I'd probably be doing it, or is that a bad measurement of staying around?
I've always wanted to be a fly fishing guide, and sometimes that's been stronger than the the call to stay in the performing business. So I don't know, but no, I mean I wouldn't be able to make a living doing that, and it's silly. I mean, it's a romantic sort of notion to be out on the river catching trout all day, and but this is what I love. This is what I love. I don't know if I answered your question at all.
No, you did, yeah.
What we've been talking about, how to know if it's time to quit or give up, this has been so uncomfortable for me. This, just talking about it. I don't know why, but it's very, very uncomfortable, because I can't possibly tell anybody else when that time is. It's something that has to just come from, the inside, and some place that I just don't have access to in your spirit. And it's difficult for me to even talk about it. I don't know why. Isn't that weird?
Oh, it's a very, I mean, there's people that have achieved amazing success, and you see obviously it wasn't enough because through self-destruction or whatever, they're no longer here. So no one can, it's a very, and some people are just happy being a working actor that's, what's the film that we talk about? The Guy in That Thing, and it's this great movie about, this documentary about just actors that just work all the time and they're recognized, but people don't know their name, and they're very happy with that. So, without all of the baggage that fame brings with them. So it's a very, people have different levels of what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And it is uncomfortable, to talk. I think for a lot of people, even for and we'll take.
In other words, I only know what's right for me.
Sure.
And what the right and wrong choices for me have been along my career path, and I guess the discomfort comes from presuming to have any sort of wise words to tell anybody else about how to tell when it may be time to stop, or it may be time to just dig in even harder and hang around. I don't know. Only that person can make that decision.